Well, it's another weekend and another new Mac game announcement. You know what? I guess I shouldn't say Mac game announcement because this has probably been known to a lot of people for a while. It's just I'm only recently learning about it, but that seems to be the norm. I always seem to be one of the last people to hear about this stuff. But as I was saying, there is another game that is coming to the Mac, and this time it's coming to the Mac App Store, which is pretty exciting because that's where I prefer to play all of my games. So it's called Crimson Desert. Oh, I see it's already available for pre-purchase on Steam, but before we look at that, let's look at the actual website. Is this the website here? So I don't know anything about this game. I'll get that out of the way right now. However, I did see someone talking about the game saying, hey, this game is coming up, get excited. And I didn't know anything about it. So I came on here, I landed on this page, and I saw, boom, this right here, Mac App Store. So don't see this very often, and it's reason to get excited. So coming March 19th, so it is coming up soon. It's going to be available on all these different platforms. It looks like there are a bunch of physical releases as well. So let's see here. So it says, a devastating ambush in the deep of night by their sworn enemies, the Black Bears, leaves members of the Grey Manes dead or scattered across the continent. Cliff is determined to reunite with the survivors, rebuild the fallen Grey Manes, and reclaim what was lost. But on a journey where alliances are forged, dangers abound, and mysterious factions are uncovered, Cliff will come to realize that an unprecedented threat and a destiny greater than he imagined await him. Relentless action, brutal combat. On the unforgiving battlefields of Crimson Desert, there is no single path to victory. With every strike and move, forge your own way in a world where a split second can decide your fate in fast-paced, visceral battles. 50 minutes of early gameplay, we'll check that out in a minute. So who is making this? Pearl Abyss. So who is that? Who is Pearl Abyss? I've never heard of this developer or studio. Oh, it's Korean. Okay. I don't know my symbols, I'm sorry. Games. Is there any in here that I know of? Again, Black Desert sounds familiar, I think. It's available on Xbox, and yet I don't believe I played that. Oh, it's also available on mobile. Okay, another MMORPG. And now we have this new game, Crimson Desert, which is in development. Black Desert is being described as an MMO. Crimson Desert does not say MMO. And then they have some other games here. Another open world action adventure game, DokeV. I don't know how that's pronounced. And then Plan 8, an MMO shooter. Also in development for PC and console. They have a lot of games on the go here. Was this one in development too? Yeah. So they have Crimson Desert, this DokeV game, and Plan 8 all in development. Exosuit. Okay, you know what? Let me see that as well. Just out of curiosity here. Plan 8. This one must be much earlier in development, I'm assuming. Yeah, because there's not much here. DokeV. What is this one? Okay, so I'm not too sure what exactly this one is here. There's a trailer. I don't know, let's put the trailer on for a minute here. It's gonna be special. So you play as a kid? Living this kid's, it almost looks like a sim. Wow. I mean, it's a pretty massive world if you can go everywhere that we're seeing in this video. Okay, I was good. For a second, I'm like, what is going on here? Is it just a sim of this kid's life? But no, there are some sort of battles going on. Okay. Wow. Now this is this is pretty unique. So this kid is battling these like monsters that are spawning into the world, and he's using some sort of weird weaponry. Oh, now he's riding a llama. I don't know really what to think of this. I mean, it looks interesting. I can't tell if it's like a game that's targeting young children, or not. But this world looks beautiful and massive. It's like a futuristic Korea. Okay. Well, that is interesting. I'm not really sure what to think of that. DokeV is a creature it's a creature collecting. So it's sort of like Pokemon, I'm assuming. Open world action adventure filled with intriguing stories and a set in a unique, vibrant world. Befriend the adorable DokeV. Yeah, so not too sure what to think of that one. It looks interesting. I'll have to keep my eye on this one as well. Again, must be pretty early in development. It doesn't say here what platforms it's coming to, so not much to go on aside from that trailer. Okay, let's go back to the game that we're actually here to look at, which is Crimson Desert. We'll look at that in a second. There was, I believe, right here, 50 minutes of early gameplay. Let's take a look at this.
Here unfolds a decisive battle between the grey maids who fight for peace and the black bears who seek to shatter it.
Again, it does sort of seem like you do play as this character, this cliff person. Oh. And if that's the case, if you are playing as this cliff person, and that's your only option, I mean, probably not an MMO. You're not creating your own character here. This is closer to something like The Witcher, where you play as Geralt. There seems to be a lot of timed events. Just pretty old school. You don't see that much anymore. It used to be very common, I would say, in like the early 2000s. In that time, there was a lot of games coming out with, you know, you have to press the button at a certain time in order to advance the cinematic or whatever it is you're watching. It doesn't seem to be used that much in video games today, but here we've seen it used quite a bit in the first couple minutes of this video. Some pretty colorful language being used. Definitely going to be a mature rated game, I imagine. Okay. Again, another timed event there. Dodging. You can throw. Quite a lot going on in this environment here. You got the fires, you got all these enemies, you got your comrades, everything's moving around. And they're playing a lot with this sort of like you see the grass kind of coming off and the dirt and the mud and the water. They're doing that a lot.
Get your fat fingers off me!
Just watching this, one of the things that it almost, again, it's a very short clip here that we're looking at, but it kind of makes me a bit nervous is it's constantly jumping back and forth between you commanding the player and doing the combat, and then after you kind of defeat a couple enemies, it phases back into sort of not a cinematic, but like a little cutscene sort of thing going on, and it's going back and forth and back and forth. You know, it's doing it again. So I wonder how much of the game is like this, because that's rather annoying. I mean, I want to play the game, right? I don't want to have to play for 20 seconds and then watch a cutscene, then 20 seconds, then watch a cutscene, then 20 seconds and watch a cutscene. Like, that drives me a bit nuts. I'm hoping this is kind of early in the game, and it's being used as sort of like an introduction. Yeah, like, our guy is taking a lot of damage here.
Greymane, tell me where it is.
Yeah, I'm assuming, like, does he fall into the water here or something, and then that's the start of our adventure? Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty common approach here.
Bring
your people are attacked, you know, everyone is killed, you're maybe one of the only survivors, you somehow survive, usually by falling off a cliff or falling into some water somewhere, and then you wash up on the bank somewhere, and I don't know, you've lost all of your gear, and I don't know, you start at level 1 or something, and now you have to fight your way back. You know, that's a very typical approach to these sorts of adventures, and that seems to be what this game is doing. Wow, look at this world. Okay, key items. I saw there was inventory there, your skills. Okay, so we're seeing like a mission or something. Big map. Again, you know, very, very sort of Skyrim-esque here. The difference being that it looks like you don't create a character where you would in like Elder Scrolls. You are playing as a character, so this is similar to, as I was saying, Geralt in The Witcher. A very busy world here that we're seeing. Makes me wonder, you know, how is this game going to play on one of the M Macs? So this type of game is it's going to be a challenge for a Mac. It's definitely going to be a challenge for my M2 if it even supports it. So we got a horse, again, very similar to The Witcher here. Man, that guy back there is huge. Yeah, this is going to require quite a bit of processing, I would imagine. Better keep your fingers crossed that it has upscaling, because if you're playing on an earlier M-based Mac, you need to have that upscaling turned up high. And have those graphics settings turned down low. So this trailer is really showing off the world for the most part here. And I mean, it's pretty, it's gorgeous. I mean, let's be honest here, it's amazing looking. I wonder if the whole game is in third person or if you have the option to switch into first person. Personally, it's funny because for certain games, I much prefer first person. Like if it's an FPS sort of thing, like Destiny, I've always kind of gravitated towards that first person. But when it comes to these sort of action adventure games where, you know, like a fantasy adventure with a sword and shield and that kind of stuff, I kind of gravitate more towards the third person. I like to see my character and stuff.
What's this?
That was interesting. So he's finding items in the world. Oh. Okay, was not expecting that. Some sort of portal. But they're definitely using a controller, as we can see the buttons down at the bottom right there. We're in some sort of like floating world. I'm sort of getting, you know, from this perspective, I'm almost getting sort of like Destiny vibes, seeing these things floating in the background.
Who are you?
I am White Crow.
Are you telling me to jump from here?
Don't worry. It's only one step.
Well, that step better not lead to the afterlife.
Knowledge acquired. Crow wings. Jeez. There's a lot going on in this game. Holy shit, look at this world. Beautiful. Yeah, I would imagine the frame rate on a Mac would be taking a bit of a dive here. Oh, Jesus, look at that. Like, even that outfit, there's so much detail in that outfit. Jesus. Okay, so you can jump from a high height and then sort of glide in this crow outfit.
What's it to you?
Oh man, curiosity.
No further destruction, I assure you. Do your worst, Clayman.
So far in this video, we saw the combat sequence at the very beginning, sort of introducing you to the character and his, you know, his origin story, if you will. But since then, we have gone through, I don't know, 20 minutes of video here, and the rest of it has just been lore and exploration and talking with people and exploring the world, and not combat. This is the first combat that we've seen so far. That makes me a bit nervous, because as someone who plays games primarily for the action portion of it, you know, I don't want to spend too much time just walking around and talking to people. You know, that drives me a bit nuts.
Great Solomon! Save us!
Vile scum! To do such a despicable thing!
There are still souls trapped within!
Again, a lot of cutscenes here, a lot of cinematics.
All hope is...
Now we're throwing water jugs at the fire.
Got to get them out quickly.
Oh, we're getting these unconscious survivors out of the burning house, okay. Okay. Like, this is getting closer and closer to, like, a Sims sort of game where you're playing this character's life, right?
The bandits away, but...
There seems to be a limited amount of actual action and combat so far, and that makes me a bit nervous. You know, as someone who, you know, when I sit down to play a game, I might only have a couple hours a week, and I don't want to spend those couple hours a week just kind of playing a game to ride around on a horse and talk to people. That's not the type of game that I enjoy, right? You know, I'm hopping into a game to get basically like an adrenaline hit through this wild action. Oh, here we go. And like this combat. You know, this is what I come here for. This is what I sit down to play a game for. And of course, he just skipped it. He rode right past it. But we do seem to be out in the open world here. What is this? Are we going to get attacked here? No. It looks like we could have attacked them if we chose to. But presumably out in this open world here, I mean, we can do whatever we want. We can attack things, we can ride away, we can whatever.
That must be the foolish healer.
Now there's even sort of like a stealth thing going on. This is also not my style, you know. I'm going in, guns a-blazing, except there's no guns. I'd be going in with the sword held high, you know. Again, I don't got time. I don't got time for this sneaking around. I wanna see the action. I want to see some blood flying. Okay, he's saving this person. Now we're probably going to be talking to this person. Again, this is where I'd be hitting that skip button like, buddy, I don't care. Let's get on to the next battle. And then what? We're back to exploration here? Oh, now we're following this guy. Okay, like again, I don't care. Just notice on the side there, so it says day 10, Wednesday. It has the time, it has the temperature, and it shows the territory that you're in. Quite a bit of world detail over there. Now we're encountering something else here.
The Grey Maid. Not here to fight. Who the fuck asked?
That's quite the haircut there.
We were setting off to find you anyway.
It's a little fluffy.
The branch masters put a generous bounty.
Again, more talking, more talking. Skip all the talking. So okay, we're back into combat here. So the combat is it's pretty methodical, I would say. You know, you got to move around, you got to dodge, you got to parry. You got a lot of enemies. It seems like in this game it's very rare where you're going one-on-one with another enemy. It seems like you're constantly being surrounded by multiple enemies. It adds another element to it too, right? So not only are you focused on, you know, combat necessarily, but you also need to be focused on sort of the environment around you and your how you're maneuvering around multiple enemies. That was a little fun bit of combat there. Again, we're back to talking, back to exploration, it looks like.
His pride.
Walking around. The world is bloody gorgeous. Oh, we're back to combat. Okay, so I don't know. I like again, it makes me a bit nervous with how much talking and just walking it is. But then I see this and like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about, you know. This is what gets me hyped up. Oh god, we got the frogs. Oh, that was cool. Did that guy throw a bomb? Oh, I thought maybe it was magic, but there might not be any magic in this game. So they're throwing some sort of bomb. They got arrows. Now, see, this is wild. There's a lot going on here. Like, frankly, I think they should have showed a lot more of this in this trailer. This gameplay trailer. Because, I mean, it's 50 minutes long of gameplay, and I would say maybe only 5% of it is actual combat. And I don't know about other people, but I mean, this is what I'd be picking the game up for, is this right here. Oh, that's cool. So you can even use your shield, sort of like a shield bash or a shield rush. You know, very, very different approach to the game I'm playing right now, Prince of Persia. Again, it's a totally different game, but in Prince of Persia Lost Crown, the game encourages you to parry as much as possible. You know, when you dodge, it doesn't usually help you that much. I mean, it might help you avoid getting hit, but in order to defeat the enemy, usually parrying is preferred. In this game, it doesn't seem to be very much parrying per se. It seems to be a lot of dodging. And again, we're seeing, because there's so many enemies here, right? You constantly have to look at how the enemies are approaching you, see if you can group them up, see if you can single one or two of the enemies out, you know, use the environment potentially to your advantage, try to get some of them kind of stuck behind a wall or stuck behind a tree. So, very neat. I really like that aspect of it. Seems to be eating some sort of food or something to recover health. Maybe a herb. Doesn't seem to be a potion. Makes me think that there might be some sort of like collecting of items as you go around the world, as we see in like Genshin Impact, where, you know, there's plants or something you can pick up. Probably going to be some sort of crafting system, and again, it's another one of those mechanisms that I just or mechanics that I don't. I really do not want to engage with. You know, that just slows the game down, just slows it to a halt. Wait, so we just destroyed all of those guards outside, and we can just walk into here and no one's gonna say anything? That's interesting.
Challenge Branch Master Splithorn to a Rakash.
You challenge me.
Looks like a lot of the environment is destructible as well. Oh wow. Okay, so there isn't I don't know if it's magic per se, but there are some sort of like sword I don't know what you call them. Well, you know, it almost kind of reminds me of like Sword Art Online. There's like sword arts here. He's doing some sort of like, I don't know, it's like wind attack coming off of his blade. Again, not only do we have this fight between us and an enemy, but we have all of these people standing around us. They all seem to be moving, sort of, you know, a little bit of movement. We have all these crates, like the world is just filled with stuff. This is going to be really tough to run. You're going to need some pretty intense hardware to run this, I imagine. Okay, I think we can stop it there. The game looks
growth.
Looks amazing. The only thing I would say that I'm nervous about just watching that is a lot of that trailer was spent exploring and talking, and you know, to each their own. But that's just not something I enjoy too much of. You know, I want the majority of the time to be actual game play. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Is there anything on here about what sort of hardware is required? So it is actually on here. View in Mac App Store. It's going to be $70. I'm assuming that's Canadian? No. So that's American. So I'm in Canada. That's probably going to be like $80 or something. No, probably more than that. Probably up to 90. It's a big one. It's a big one. 170 gig. Where's the compatibility? It says requires an M1 or later. That's surprising. That is going to run on an M1. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. That's for sure. Is there any additional information on the Steam store here? They got the date again. Was the date on here? Yes, it was March 19th. So it's releasing March 19th across the board. It does say full controller support, Xbox, DualSense, USB. Oh, that's interesting. Why would it say DualSense controllers USB only? That's interesting. Doesn't say controller support on here. That makes me a bit nervous. Then again, developers seem to always forget to include controller support on the App Store. I have no idea why. It's bloody confusing, and it's bloody frustrating because you never know if it's actually supported or not until you buy the game. And then if you buy the game and you find out, you know, god damn, it doesn't have controller support, thankfully you can request a refund, but you got to get it pretty quick. Oh, and the game that's available on Steam also supports macOS. So it looks like you can purchase this game on Steam, or you can purchase this game on the Mac App Store. I know most people are going to be purchasing it on Steam for their Mac if that's how they're going to be playing it. A lot of people prefer Steam. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer the Mac App Store. It's just a personal preference, and I don't have other gaming hardware, so I really don't care about Steam's cross-platform support. Interestingly, it shows some different information on here. So minimum, it is showing M1 for minimum. It's saying that storage is 135. That's interesting. This is like 30 higher at 167. Here we go. Recommended. So it's recommending an M3 Pro. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Oh, but it does, see, going back to the minimum, it does say you need a minimum 16 gig. Absolutely. So I have an M2 in my MacBook Air. It does have 16 gig of RAM, but watching that gameplay, I know it's not going to run well. So yeah, you're definitely going to need to have something much better, I would imagine. I mean, we're going to give it a shot regardless, but yeah, M3 Pro is what's being recommended here. Wait a second, it's showing, what the hell is this? So it's saying recommended M4 Pro for processor, graphics M3 Pro. The hell does that mean? How these are unified chips. The hell does this mean? How can you have an M4 Pro for the CPU, but an M3 Pro for the GPU? What the hell is this thing talking about? So, I don't know, maybe, you know what? Maybe it's not even the M3 Pro they're recommending. They're recommending the M4 Pro. See, it's even higher. Wonderful. So, yeah, pretty excited for this one. I'll keep an eye on it for sure. The only thing I'm a bit, you know, I have some sort of reservations about is just watching that 50-minute gameplay trailer. There was a lot of walking around, a lot of talking, and that's just not for me. But regardless, we're going to pick this one up on the Mac App Store, probably day one, and we will give it a go. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. See you later.